Welcome Libra to your in-depth monthly horoscope for January 2024 for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to share some standout details to begin with, but please stay with me. I will explore in much greater depth all the ins and outs, particularly relevant to your sign. And of course we have to be mindful of your ruler Venus. So there's lots to share with you about Venus. She starts the month in the free-spirited sign of Sagittarius, which is quite flirty, but she is going to be afflicted, unfortunately, by Saturn right at the start of the month, and then from the 17th through to the 22nd by the dreamy drifting energies of Neptune. So that will need some care. But very exciting news. On the 21st, the Sun and Pluto are together in the sign of Aquarius. Now they come together briefly in a conjunction the day before in your fourth house. You can reflect on all that's happened since 2008 around your emotional and family and home life. Huge changes, chances are. But now you can start to really look forwards. Now, Pluto is going to be moving back into Capricorn briefly from the 2nd of September to November the 19th, but then it will be in Aquarius for a very long time. And the key is the sharing of the air triplicity, but also Libra, the 5th house is where we show our charisma. It's where we can turn on our personality powers. It's much more outgoing. And all the lessons that have been learned since 2008 when Pluto moved into Capricorn, now you're going to dazzle people with your radiance. You can absolutely trust me on that. Please stay with me for more. As we make our way into year 2024, if you would like to understand what this will mean for you in a totally individual way and ascend above this zodiac broadcast, please give me 3 pieces of your birth data of time, date and place, or date and place if you don't know your time, and I'll produce for you your 12-month forecast. This will be a full 12 months from the time of your order, unless you order in the latter part of 23, and I'll give you the rest of that year for free. But along with your 12-month forecast, which will give you searing insights, you can also get your character analysis report, your life roadmap. That gives you a much more intimate understanding of the influences that have played out in your whole life and how you can work with them. Also, you'll get your zodiac forecast for each of the 12 signs, your Indian Vedic forecast and your Chinese forecast for year 2024, all free of charge. Please see the link beneath this video for more. So Libra, as you start the new year, the Sun, as usual at this time in January, is in the sign of Capricorn along with the aforementioned Pluto. But along with Venus, you also have Mercury and Mars in your 3rd house of everyday communications. But Mercury's in a retrograde. Now it goes direct on the 2nd, but it's so close to Mars, it is possible that you could be tempted to speak quickly about a situation that may require a little bit more consideration. And the reason the temptation can be there is the moon at the very start of this year is locked away in your 12th house, which can trigger us to be a lot more emotionally sensitive, but also at times perhaps a little unsure of ourselves. But the moon is in an opposition with the stern Saturn. Saturn's in the picky 6th house. Maybe someone is going to say something that feels critical, and with Mercury in retrograde and Mars close by, the quite understandable reaction on your part can be to feel that there is some kind of challenge going on, even if it's not being manifested in an upfront and honest way. The reason the confusion can occur is because Neptune, the planet of spirituality, of the ephemeral, the things we can't always see, is squaring up to Mercury and Mars, and that is a very testing influence. In the case of Mercury, it goes on for the first 12 days of this month. And because Neptune has been in your 6th house since 2012, you've given so much of yourself to other people. And I feel since Saturn moved there on March the 7th last year, it started to become a lot harder for you just to go always beyond uh, uh, your own energy and your own needs in order to answer that call. So what Saturn's saying to you in its opposition with the position of the moon, and both squaring back to the position of Venus, your ruler, is don't be too quick to agree into a situation that is proposed to you at the start of this year. But also at the same time, make sure that if you do react to something, you have a clear picture of actually what the issues are, because Neptune can distort. So it's quite a complex start to the year. But on the 2nd, Mercury does go direct, and that is welcome. Now, if you've been lucky enough to be given some kind of new tech over the festive period, and it really hasn't proved quite as easily to set up as the instruction booklet suggested, the chances are you will start to get the solution from then. But on the 4th, Mars moves out of Sagittarius and into Capricorn, joining up with the Sun and initially with Pluto. But you know, Mars actually likes being here, and I think this can be good for you because Mars is exalted in Capricorn and can make you a bit more robust about defending your inner world. So because you have been so obliging and gone the extra mile so many times in recent years, it probably has at times now become beyond the pale. But because your natural nature is often to try to find the midpoint between your needs and someone else's, and you're a natural diplomat, if you feel your boundaries are being overrun, Mars gives you a little bit more to push back and remind people that you've got to make your needs number one. On the 11th, there's also a new moon in Capricorn, emphasizing the same emotional energy. Now, whereas Pluto has made this part of your life journey very challenging at times since 2008, the Sun here provides an opportunity because it's linking to Uranus. Uranus in the part of your situation to do with shared resources, but also business, entrepreneurship, can help you to look at something around a home situation in a fresh light. It may be about creating some more space, decluttering in some ways. But then again, because Mars has moved forwards and is linking brilliantly to Jupiter, the planet of growth and potentially of good fortune, also in your 8th house, maybe it's something for your family, maybe it's something to do with a property which can bring you some fortune, and it can be really something quite significant that really pleases you. The 14th also sees Mercury switching back to Capricorn. It was last there on the 23rd of December. Now, Mercury in the 4th house can be tricky because what we can do is feel a little more inward. Thoughts go around our minds. We can obsess a little bit about our worries, but find it much more difficult to articulate how we feel. But just be aware that Venus also in the 3rd week of this month is in a right angle with Neptune. And again, however much you try to clarify an issue, which may be a pattern from the start of the month, it may seem that someone feels that you're withholding your goodwill, your support, your commitment. Well, all you're doing is representing your needs with great skill, and it's them that's finding a way to misunderstand where you're coming from. But I think the 20th is really significant because if you think back over those long 15 years and how difficult it's been, and as you know, I have the Libra ascendant too, I feel that this will be a real point of change because you'll be able to see on both the 20th and the 21st, as the Sun aligns with Pluto across 2 signs, a big shift going on. You're starting by the 21st to manifest your true talent, your true wishes. You may not get them straight away. Pluto is the planet of transformation. It also unearths deep within us potential that we can't always see. But the 5th house can be about children, it can be about romance, it can be about flair and artistry. So whatever part of life you want to bring to light, you have an enormous opportunity to do that. initially this month, but right through to the 2nd of September, but then in a big way from the 19th of November for many years to come. So it's a really exciting transition from that very deep, sensitive, and at times destructive energy, which has affected where you live, your close relationships with others. But you're coming out of that with so much knowledge, wisdom, and awareness. And now you can really start to flourish. Now, ironically, Venus replaces Pluto, your ruler, on the 23rd. And if you do want to hit the sales, it could be some home furnishings that tempt you right at the end of the month. But there is also a full moon on the 25th. But threaded through this full moon is a square between the Sun and also Jupiter. Now, that's actually a very generous aspect. It's possible that someone larger than life can really take your fancy as the curtain comes down on this first month. But if you do encounter someone in a business situation where your creativity and flair can be coupled with their business nous, just make sure that they can deliver on the promises they are set to make. But the full moon in Leo is asking you really to balance the different areas of your life towards your social interaction. We all know we can't please all of the people all of the time. You've learnt that lesson in a massive way. That the most important thing in life is to be true to ourselves. If we can be a decent person around that to others, great. But we can't spend all of our time totally obsessed with people pleasing because we lose our identity. So because Jupiter is in this event, it's possible that your popularity can actually really pick up. So expect to be in demand. But also someone could try to spoil you, maybe with an expensive gift. But there could be an opportunity at the end of this month which can see you really delighted how life can turn round after so much difficulty. But just be aware with Jupiter that Jupiter sometimes can be a little bit extravagant in the way it presents, and it's important in terms of your long-term finances to keep working very hard and applying yourselves, and if you can, right through to May the 23rd, you have enormous opportunities, particularly when Jupiter and Uranus meet. And also there's going to be a lovely link between Venus and Jupiter on the 23rd itself, which again could be a key moment for your financial affairs. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Libra. I'd like to wish you all the best for January 2024 and for the whole of the new year. If you'd like to speak to me one-to-one, please see the link below. But for now, please like, comment, share or subscribe.